ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So the next scientist, Joseph Priestley. Now Joseph Priestley is a scientist who studied about here Bell jar experiment. Studied about Bell jar experiment. Studied about Bell jar experiment. What is that Bell jar experiment? First of all, Joseph Priestley, let us study about Joseph Priestley, what was being discovered. He discovered oxygen release or oxygen production in 1774. He is the first person who studied that yes, there is a production of oxygen in the process of photosynthesis that was being revealed and discovered by Joseph Priestley in the year of 1774. And not only that, by doing the Bell jar experiment, even he has concluded that the plants, the conclusion of the discovery of Joseph Priestley I am writing, then we can discuss what is that experiment. So he discovered that plants restore air whatever the breathing animals and burning candle removes. So this is the conclusion part out of Bell jar experiment. This is the conclusion part out of Bell jar experiment. I repeat again, plants restore the air whatever the breathing animals and burning candle removes. What is that experiment? Then we will see the experiment, then again we will come back to the conclusion part. Initially what he has done is, he took the Bell jar, it is tightly closed with the lid. So you can see here it is been closed with the lid. This is nothing but bell jar. A glass bell jars are being taken. Now inside that he has kept a burning candle. So when candle is being on, with the lightening of the candle was done and kept in the bell jar and the lid was closed. Then after some time candle got put off. So this is a burning candle. This is nothing but burning candle. So after some time the light got put off. The light is put off. It got distinguished. It's completely got extinguished from the bell jar by putting off the light. Then in the second set of experiment, he kept a mouse, or you can say rat or mouse is placed along with that. Some mouse is being placed. Let us take a mouse is being placed. And again he lighted the candle, again closed with the lid. Then at that time what happened is, the light is put off and candle or rat is also found to be died. There was a put off of candle and rat also found to be died. Right. In the next set of experiment, now again at this time, now in the same bell jar, now this time he kept a mint plant. So he kept a mint plant. A mint plant is placed along with, now same as usual, he kept again a burning candle was kept and rat or mouse is also being placed. Now at this time when mint plant is placed here, now the whatever is the air which being absorbed by candle and rat, now there is a continuation of the lighting of the candle and rat or mouse found to be live. Why rat or mouse to be live? Why candle still continuing the light? Because whatever the air removed by the breathing animals like rat and mouse or the burning candle, it is restored by plants. Okay. So, the mint plant restores the air it is again produced in the air even though the air is being removed by the breathing animals and burning candle. That means the final conclusion is whatever the air is removed by the breathing animals and burning candle, that is being restored by plants. So, when plant is kept here, a mint plant is placed in the bell jar, there is a continuation of lighting of the candle and mouse found to be live. So, here air, even though they remove the air, again plant is providing the air. So, along with that is the first person who studied about oxygen release in the year of 1774, that is called as a bell jar experiment. Right. Now, the bell jar experiment now further continued by another scientist. Later, there is one more scientist, John Ingenhouse. There is one more scientist, John Ingenhouse. So, John Ingenhouse, he repeated, what he repeated? Repeated the same bell jar experiment. He also has done bell jar experiment. At this time, but he is the one who kept the bell jar experiment. I am writing about bell jar experiment, once kept in the light and after some time completely kept in the dark. What John Ingenhouse has done? He is a scientist, repeated what? A bell jar experiment. And how he was done the bell jar experiment? He has kept the complete set of bell jar for a long time in the light for some time. After that again for some time he kept in the dark. Right. So, when John Ingenhouse, what did he observe by placing them into light and dark here? Let us see now. So, he has taken, he has taken the two set of bell jars. So, this is nothing but one set of bell jar and this is another set of bell jar. The one which is being placed, he has took what is called an aquatic plant. Inside the bell jar, he has kept an aquatic plant, some aquatic plant. Right, and again placed burning of the candle, same, and again kept the rat or mouse. So, again another set he kept in, this is kept in the sunlight for long duration of time and this is being kept in the dark. So, here same another set with the aquatic plant I am drawing here, same burning candle was there and mouse was there. When two sets are being observed, this is placed in the sunlight, this is placed in the dark. But when the bell jar is placed in the sunlight, you could able to see that some water bubbles. That water bubbles itself is recognized as, that's an indication that there is a release of oxygen. Right. So, here in case of the bell jar in which aquatic plant, candle, mouse are being placed, there is a release of water bubbles. The water bubbles indicates that there is release of oxygen. That means photosynthesis has taken place. Coming to the bell jar which is placed in the dark, here no water bubbles, no formation of water bubbles. So, it was understood that no release of oxygen, no release of oxygen. That means here it says that sunlight is most essential for the process called photosynthesis. So, in this case there was no photosynthesis, photosynthesis was not taken place. So, that was the experiment was done by John Ingenhouse. In presence of sunlight, plants, higher plants perform photosynthesis, they release oxygen. In the absence of sunlight, plants could not make out photosynthesis. Now, the further experiments have been continued and so there are some more experiments have been continued. We will discuss other experiments. Students, let us continue with the photosynthesis. We are in the introduction of the photosynthesis. We have been discussing about the scientists and their experiments. Now, let us continue with the scientists and the discoveries. Julius Van Schack. There is one more scientist, Julius Van Schack. He is the one who studied that In the process of photosynthesis, it produces the glucose. It synthesizes what are called sugars. Mostly the sugar produced is nothing but glucose or fructose, whatever it may be, and that will be stored as starch. That is stored as starch. So, sometimes whenever we get the question that who is the scientist who discovered that glucose will be stored as in the form of starch, then that effort goes to, the credit goes to Julius Van Zach. He studied the total process of photosynthesis. He observed there is a synthesis of sugars like glucose, later it will be stored in the form of starch. And not only this, even he studied that there is nothing but a special pigment which he identified. Today we call that as chlorophyll, and he said that the special pigment is found on special bodies. Special bodies. And what is a special body? Today we discovered that as chloroplast. We study that today as chloroplast. He said that a green plants, when they are growing, when they are exhibiting the growth phenomena, what is the being discovered here? In green plants, when they are exhibiting the growth phenomena, the green color is due to a special pigment. So, the green color of the plant, it's mainly due to a special pigment, and that is found on special bodies. That was a discovery made by Julius Van Zach. But at that time, he did not give the term called chlorophyll and chloroplast. Today we know what is a special pigment discovered by Julius. Today we call that as a chlorophyll, and he said already that it's located on the special bodies. Today we call that as what? Chloroplast. That means chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis, was being discovered by Julius Van Zach. Okay. So, here you have to remember two things. What are they? One of the point discovery is he observed that food is stored in the form of starch. Glucose or the sugars are stored in the form of starch. Guys, if you remember in first year, in biomolecules we studied starch is referred as storehouse of energy. Starch is called as what? Storehouse of energy. That means sugars are stored in the form of starch. Once upon a time, earlier it's already been discovered by Julius Van Zach. Not only that, he also observed when plant is growing, the green color parts are mainly because of some special substance or the pigment, and that is found on the special bodies. The special pigment is nothing but chlorophyll, and the special body is nothing but what we know today, it's called chloroplast. So, that was a discovery made by Julius Van Zach. Then there is another scientist, T.W. Eagleman. Right. What was the discovery made by T.W. Eagleman? If you look at, very important. He is the one who discovered the first action spectrum of photosynthesis. First action spectrum of photosynthesis. Okay. So, T.W. Eagleman is the one who discovered a first action spectrum of photosynthesis. What is that? How he has been discovered? He has took the source of light, some light. Now, he allowed the rays of light, or you can take what you can either, it will be placed in the sunlight also. He has done the experiment even in the presence of sunlight also. So, what he has done is, he took the prism, allowed the light to pass across the prism, then the light is being splitted here, then it is called a splitted spectrum. What is that light he allowed to pass it through? It is nothing but visible light. So, visible light we all know it we call VIBGR. What do we call? VIBGR. Now, whenever the light is got splitted into different rays, he allowed that rays to fall on the culture containing, this is a culture media. Now, on the culture media, it is used for the growth of a green algae. So here which green algae he has taken? The green algae what he has taken, it's nothing but Cladophora. Which green algae? That is nothing but Cladophora. So on the culture media he has grown the green algae called Cladophora along with mixtures of aerobic bacteria. Along with the culture is also contains aerobic bacteria. For example, you take this is a green algae. This is a green algae. Now in the culture even they have added aerobic bacteria. So they have even aerobic bacteria. Now what happens when light is passed here? No doubt the green algae undergo the process called photosynthesis. And because of this photosynthesis, what is the end component produced? So green algae released oxygen. So wherever there is accumulation of oxygen, it's an indication, it can be indicated because there you can find more aerobic bacteria. So it's an indication that site of oxygen release. So what is the final conclusion of this? So this is nothing but accumulation of oxygen, accumulation of aerobic bacteria indicate that is nothing but site of oxygen release. That is nothing but a site of oxygen release. What's the meaning of that? Let me explain you again. Very important. T.W. Engelmann is a scientist. What did he study? A first action spectrum of photosynthesis. Action spectrum means how photosynthesis is done. Action means performance, like photosynthesis is performed. That is what is called first action spectrum of photosynthesis was being discovered by T.W. Engelmann. What he has done in the experiment, he took the source of light or he took the natural sunlight, he has done experiment in both in these two sources. Let us take visible light. The sunlight is more prominent in his experiment. Now visible light is allowed to pass to the prism. This is prism is placed. Now light got splitted here and it formed what is called splitted spectrum, and what is being allowed to pass through here is nothing but visible light. Visible light is nothing but VIBGR. So when light is splitted into this and it allowed to pass through the culture media, it took the Petri plate having the culture media, meaning all nutrients are added, in which it is allowed to grow with green algae. Which green algae? The green algae we used is nothing but Cladophora. Cladophora is being mixed with what is called aerobic bacteria. So here this is algae and black colored ones, let us take it as bacteria. Algae is growing, bacteria is also growing. Now he has waited for some time. After that he could able to see that there are some places where you can see more accumulation of, more growth of aerobic bacteria. At some corners, at some places of the Petri plate, you can see more accumulation of aerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria got accumulated. Why aerobic bacteria accumulated more in number at some places? Then he identified and discovered that is a place where there is a release of oxygen. As oxygen got released here and what he added is aerobic bacteria, they need oxygen. So wherever oxygen is released, there you can see more accumulation of aerobic bacteria. That is called accumulation of aerobic bacteria indicates the site of oxygen release, and this happened more in concentration or higher in concentration. This happened in blue light region and happened more in a red light region. More accumulation of aerobic bacteria, more oxygen release found to be happened in blue light region and also appeared more in case of red light region. So this is in VIBGR, if you look at, this is blue light, B for blue light, and after that again more accumulation happen in red light. That means blue light, red light are the more effective lights which make sure that they shows high rate of photosynthesis. In the VIBGR, which light regions are more effective for photosynthesis? Remember very importantly, blue light and red light are more effective regions. In these two regions we find high rate of photosynthesis. Then in the 19th century, in the 19th century the people could able to, after so many discoveries, in the 19th century the people could able to give empirical formula for photosynthesis. They could able to see empirical formula for photosynthesis. So, what is that? Carbon dioxide plus 2Ha, and that gives rise to CH2O taken N, along with that oxygen is released out. Some equation they could able to give, and that shows the production of the food nothing but carbohydrates. It is an indication that sunlight is needed, and that happens in chlorophyll, but they could not able to get what is this exactly and what is the water required, and some shape they could able to give by writing some empirical equation. By the end of 19th century we could able to get the empirical equation for photosynthesis. And further the experiments have been continued, and many people have done many wonders in knowing the process of photosynthesis. Let us continue further. Right. So, here later the scientist is Cornelius van Niel. Now, he has given another milestone is being achieved in the discovery of the process called photosynthesis. Even Cornelius van Niel is also very important scientist. Now, let us see that what he has studied. He has done the experiment taking a green and purple sulfur bacteria and also studied experiment of photosynthesis in case of higher plants. Now, what he has discovered in this case is, when you look at the carbon dioxide plus water, and it was gives rise to CHON plus oxygen is released out. So, he said that carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrates. Carbon dioxide reduced into carbohydrates. Carbohydrates by a suitable oxidizing compound, or better you can write by hydrogen component, hydrogen donor, by hydrogen from suitable oxidizing compound. I will just repeat this, very simple, very simple. In this he observed that carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrates, meaning is in carbohydrates whatever the carbon is produced, in carbohydrates produced from carbon dioxide, not from water. So, here carbon present in the carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? CH2 dash, CH2, 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 we take carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates are formed from carbon dioxide. How they are formed? By a hydrogen, with the help of hydrogen from suitable oxidizing compound. That means this happened with the help of hydrogen. So, again I repeat the statement. According to Cornelius van Niel, hydrogen has made carbon dioxide to reduce to form carbohydrate. Just one second, excuse me guys, sorry. So, yeah, sorry guys, let us continue. Carbon dioxide, what is present here? It is being reduced to carbohydrates with the help of hydrogen, and hydrogen is coming from where? This hydrogen is coming from a suitable oxidizing compound. What is that suitable oxidizing compound? Later they discovered that as water. So water is giving the hydrogen. Hydrogen is making the carbon dioxide to get reduced to form carbohydrates. Okay, so this is, they found that this is mainly in case of higher plants or green plants, higher green plants we say. But this they have come to conclusion initially by doing experiment on a green purple bacteria. So what they have discovered in green purple bacteria? In green purple bacteria, so here they don't take water, they take H2S. So H2S leads to formation again carbohydrates, along with that sulfur is released. So here in this case they observed that again carbon dioxide reduced to form carbohydrates, no doubt by hydrogen, and hydrogen is from oxidizing compound. But in case of green sulfur bacteria, the oxidizing compound is H2S. H2S. So initially they have done this, now based on this they have come to the conclusion of this. So I repeat again, Cornelius von Neel, he first has done experiment on green and purple sulfur bacteria. In this they observed that carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates with the help of hydrogen, but the hydrogen is coming from oxidizing compound is H2S. So in green sulfur bacteria oxygen is not released. So let us make very clear differences. According to Cornelius von Neel, we can make very clear differences in this case. So here you can take green plants, and here you can take green and purple sulfur bacteria. Now according to this, what they have studied is, in this case here hydrogen donor. Who is a hydrogen donor? Hydrogen donor is water. So oxygen is released. That means hydrogen is involved in conversion of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. Very important. So hydrogen makes the conversion of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. Then who is giving hydrogen? Who is the hydrogen donor? Water is nothing but hydrogen donor in case of green plants. That means oxygen is released. What is the other conclusion here? Oxygen is released from water, not from carbon dioxide. The oxygen what is coming here, it's coming from water, not from carbon dioxide, meaning carbon dioxide whatever the oxygen is there, that is not releasing. Carbon with oxygen in carbon dioxide forms completely carbohydrates. Then oxygen is coming from where? The oxygen is coming from water. So oxygen is released from water. So what is the role of this water? Water is acting as a hydrogen donor. Water is giving hydrogen to carbon dioxide, so that carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates. When hydrogens are given here, what is left is oxygen. Oxygen is released out. That means oxygen released here coming from water, not from carbon dioxide. Such an important discovery has been made by Cornelius von Neel. Very important. So, Nile contribution is a milestone contribution. He observed that hydrogen is nothing but the one which is causing carbon dioxide to form carbohydrates. Hydrogen donor is water in case of green plants. Hence, oxygen is released, and oxygen is released from water, not from carbon dioxide. Simultaneously, in lower prokaryotic organisms, if you take green purple sulfur bacteria, what did he observe? In this case also, no doubt, carbon dioxide reduced to form carbohydrates with the help of hydrogen. But who is acting as a hydrogen donor? The hydrogen donor is H2S, not water. Very important. Who is the hydrogen donor? H2S, but not water, Water is not there, and water is not involved in photosynthesis in case of green sulfur bacteria. Even though water is not there, but still carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrate. That means photosynthesis has taken place even in the absence of water. What is the conclusion? Very important. In green and purple sulfur bacteria, there is conversion of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates even though water is not present. In this case, the hydrogen donor is H2S, but not the water. Water is totally absent, but still there is a photosynthesis. And here, can you see release of oxygen? No, oxygen is not released. Why oxygen is not released? Because there is no water. Water is not there. As water is not there, oxygen is not released. Then what is released in this case? In this case, sulfur is released. Sulfur is released from where? Sulfur is released from H2S, and there is no water. That is an indication that carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates. Oxygen is coming from water, not from carbon dioxide. As water is there in green plants, oxygen is released. As water is not observed in case of bacteria, and hydrogen donor is H2S, that is why there is no release of oxygen. And finally, what is released is only sulfur. That means here hydrogen donor is water in case of higher green plants, but here hydrogen donor is H2S. Very important. And this oxygen released was continued with the experiment. Many people have done the experiments on oxygen released. After Nile contribution, there are few people, and let me talk about other people. Rubin and Cameron experimentally proved the release of oxygen. They provided experimental proof for production of oxygen in photosynthesis. Now, who are the other scientists? So, you can take Rubin and Cameron. Who are the other scientists? Rubin and Cameron. Later they have given experimental proof for production of oxygen, which is being produced in the process of what is PS? Photosynthesis. How they have done the experiment? By using, so you can write they have done the experiment by using a radioactive isotope. What is that isotope? O18. It is a heavy isotope. Now, what they have done with this radioactive isotope O18 here, now they supplied that carbon dioxide here, but here when you take, let me show the O18 in this. So, in this case I am writing carbon dioxide is there, they took water, in water oxygen is coated with heavy isotope. So, they took the water in which oxygen is coated with heavy isotope. What is that heavy isotope? Oxygen 18, it is a heavy isotope, and they continued with the photosynthesis and they supplied the sunlight, and that happened in case of chlorophyll. As a result, what happened here? There is a production of carbohydrates. Along with that, water molecule is released. Along with that, 6 molecules of oxygen is produced. as 6 molecules of oxygen which is produced also coated with a radioactive isotope. Okay, what is the experiment they have done? They took the carbon dioxide, took water, but in water oxygen is being coated with radioactive material, a heavy isotope called O18, and they have done the experiment. Photosynthesis has taken place in the presence of sunlight and could form what is that? Carbohydrate C6H12O6. Along with that, water is released, and what is the end product produced here? Oxygen. As oxygen is produced in the photosynthesis, they tested the oxygen what is released out also is coated with radioactive material O18. That means oxygen is coming from water, not from carbon dioxide. Very important discovery has been made by the two scientists Rubin and Cameron. That is because of the continuation of the main contribution is by Nile. Right. So, in this very important thing is Nile contribution. He clearly differentiated higher plants and green sulfur bacteria. So, guys, listen carefully. In this Cornelius Van Nile contribution is very important milestone in 19th century that has given clear idea for production of oxygen. So, I will just quickly revise it, listen carefully. Initially in the beginning, Cornelius Van Nile, he took the experimental organism called green purple sulfur bacteria. When he has done the experiment, this is the experiment. In this he observed that carbon dioxide is reduced to form CH2O. So, here carbon dioxide having carbon and oxygen both are reduced to form carbohydrate CH2O taken N. Means carbohydrates are formed from carbon dioxide and by the help of important mediator called hydrogen. So, this hydrogen is produced from the oxidizing compound, it is observed as H2S. So, who is the hydrogen donor in case of bacteria? H2S. By the end of photosynthesis, what is produced is sulfur but not oxygen. Sulfur is produced, oxygen is not released. So, when he has done the experiment, he came to know that carbon dioxide reduced to form carbohydrates with the help of hydrogen. Hydrogen is donated by H2S and that is an oxidizing compound. Oxygen is not released. The same process of experiment he applied for green plants. When he applied in case of higher green plants, he noticed that carbon dioxide no doubt reduced to form carbohydrates with the help of hydrogen. Hydrogen is from a suitable oxidizing compound. Who is a suitable oxidizing compound here? Water acts as a suitable oxidizing compound. So, the water donates hydrogen. So, water acts as a hydrogen donor. This hydrogen causes conversion of carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. In water hydrogen is going. What is left here? Oxygen is left. So, oxygen is released out. So, finally has given the comparison between green plants and what happens in case of bacteria. No doubt both performs photosynthesis. Here carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates. Importantly, an hydrogen donor is nothing but water. Water is giving hydrogen, that is causing conversion of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate. As water is there, what is released here? Oxygen is released here. And what the oxygen is released here? It is from water, not from carbon dioxide. That is a very important and major discovery of Van Nile, that he could able to come to conclusion by doing the experiment on bacteria. What did he observe in bacteria? In bacteria, carbon dioxide is reduced to form carbohydrates with the help of hydrogen, but here the hydrogen donor is H2S, not water, not the water. As H2S is there here, oxygen is not released because there is no water, no oxygen. Then what is released out is nothing but sulfur. So, who is the hydrogen donor here? Hydrogen sulfur. Even though there is no water, but still photosynthesis has taken place, and what released out finally is nothing but sulfur. And the most important point is hydrogen donor is water in green plants, higher green plants, and here hydrogen donor is H2S. Oxygen is released, in this case oxygen is not released. That is later production of oxygen experimentally continued by a set of two more scientists, Ruben and Cameron. What they did? They have given experimental proof for production of oxygen in photosynthesis. So, how they have done the experiment? By using radioactive isotope O18. O18 is a heavy isotope. Now, when they are providing carbon dioxide to the plant, they added water. Water is mixed with O18, heavy isotope, radioactive isotope. That is a conclusion that yes, oxygen is coming from water, because in water they coated heavy isotope oxygen O18. The same thing is released out here. So, that means oxygen is coming from water, not from carbon dioxide. These are nothing but very, very important discoveries of photosynthesis.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.